Let's go! Today I'm talking about the 1988 movie Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. As always, this review is going to be spoiler free, so if you like what you see, feel free to subscribe to this channel and like the video. After Halloween 3 flopped, the studio decided to go back to the tried and true formula, namely Michael Myers going around killing people. But John Carpenter and Deborah Hill, the masterminds behind the previous movies, are gone here, and their absence is felt deeply. In this movie, Laurie Strode is conveniently written out, since Jamie Lee Curtis was way too good for this crap, and we instead follow Laurie's young daughter, who is weirdly enough named Jamie, and is played by Danielle Harris. After Michael Myers once again escapes from the sanitarium, she's forced to fight for survival as he once again terrorizes the town of Haddonfield. From the beginning, this movie screams mediocrity. All the artful cleverness of the first two movies is gone here and replaced by an uninteresting story and generic slasher kills. The characters are not very compelling. I think it was a bad decision to make a child the star of a Halloween movie. Danielle Harris is a pretty damn good actor for her age, but I'll never be able to connect with her in the same way that I can with an older character. The foster sister Rachel is at least the right age to be in this kind of movie, so I gravitated to her much more. She's a decent enough final girl type, I guess, but everything around her is just so uninspired that it's hard for me to really get invested. But then there's Dr. Loomis, who is back and out of his ever-loving mind. He was crazy in the first movie, but as this series has progressed, he's gotten more and more insane and more annoying. There are a lot of stupid things about this movie, but Loomis manages to be one of the worst offenders. I don't understand how his scenes were supposed to play as anything but comedy, because his character is off his freaking rocker. And crazily enough, he hasn't even reached his peak for insanity yet. I also want to comment on Michael in this movie. This is not the same character that I know and love from part 1 or even part 2. In this movie, I call him Mastermind Michael because he's smart enough to know how to take out the entire power grid for the entire city so that he can kill more easily in the dark. And he consistently, omnisciently knows exactly where to pop up in order to get the characters he wants. They also messed up his mask this time. It looks so stupid. And they couldn't even keep a consistent mask throughout. There's actually some shots where they accidentally used the wrong one. I really wish they would have just stuck to the original mask. It looked way better. But despite my many issues with this movie, it isn't all bad. Once we get to the third act, we do get the rooftop chase scene, which is one of the best chase scenes in the entire franchise. It's the one point where I feel like this movie has actual tension. This movie also has a strong ending. Throughout the movie, they try to draw parallels between young Michael and young Jamie, which is a good idea. And the ending scene brings it all to a head in a really clever way. But spoiler alert, this stuff goes absolutely nowhere in part 5. I appreciate it for being basically the only creative concept this movie has, but even at its best, this movie is still a disappointment. So yeah, this is not exactly a triumphant return for Michael Myers. There's very little to grab onto. There are a few good ideas, but they're poorly executed or don't go anywhere, like the Jamie-Michael connection. Like with Halloween 3, this movie has had a renaissance in how it's viewed. There are a lot of people that now claim that this is a good movie and a worthy sequel to the original. But once again, y'all are just wrong. This is a bad sequel and I don't have much more to say about it. In my opinion, it's a 4 out of 10.